Hello everyone, welcome back to the video lecture 4.1. In this lecture we are going to learn about the Python for loop. Right, we are going to learn in this video about the for loop. First of all, we have to understand what are the topics we are going to cover in this video. We are going to cover what is loop, advantage of loop, use of range function, for loop with range function, for loop with string, and what is iteration. What is use of iteration, right? Let's start. Now, first of all, what is loop? When we talk about a word loop, it means we come across something repeating multiple time, right? Something repeating multiple time. So it's very important to understand loop is a process of repeating a statement or multiple statement multiple time till the condition is satisfied. In programming, we have to repeat the same set of code multiple times in any application, whether you are using any app or social media account. If you log in multiple times, so it is a kind of repetitive process. It is kind of loop. So in Python also, loop is a control structure that allows you to execute the block of code repeatedly multiple times, right? Python support two types of loop: while loop and for loop. So here we are going to understand first of all what is for loop. I hope you understood what is loop. Loop means a process, a kind of statement which will repeat the block of block of code multiple times, right? And if you see the slide on the screen, you can see with the help of this flow diagram. First of all, we have to start the loop, then we have to initialize iterator. And if the condition is true, then rest statement will be executed and it will move to the next item, and if condition is going to be false, then the loop will terminate, loop will end, right? Now, so what is we have to understand here, what is loop? Start of loop, the loop begins, and then initialize iterator. The loop variable iterator is initialized with the first item of sequence, and then condition check. The loop checks if there are remaining items in the sequence. If yes, proceed with the next step. If no, the loop will end or terminate. Execution of block of codes. The block of code inside the loop is executed, move to the next item, the iterator will move to the next item, and the loop will repeat until the sequence is exhausted. I will tell you in detail with practical example. Okay, I will tell you with the practical example. Now let us understand what is for loop. As the syntax, you can see syntax is here. Simply use the statement for. After for, variable will come. Then in is also kind of keyword. For and in both are keyword. Variable can be anything, and next will come after in iterator. Then put colon sign, and after just colon, it will take auto indent and write the statement which you want to execute with the loop. Let us see the example. For example, here it is written ch equal for ch in India, print ch. Now you are not, I think, getting how these are working. I am showing you a practical example, right? Wait. So I am going to Python. Let's open the Python window, right? Now, as you can see, if I am writing here print, my name is Amit. This is, I am just printing without any other statement, without any loop, right? It is displaying only one time, but the same statement we want to repeat multiple times. For example, 10 times, 20 times, 100 times. For that, just write for a is a variable in. Range function will come. I will tell you what is the use of range function and for what purpose it is used, right? So just I am passing here 10. If you want to repeat this loop 10 times, then we have to use the range function and we have to write 10. Then this loop will repeat 10 times. And after this colon sign, press enter, auto indent will be taken by the for loop, and just put the statement which you want to execute just below the colon sign wherever cursor is blinking after taking auto indent. So that is indentation. Let's run it. press F5, save it. So now you can see it is displaying 10 times, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Now once again, if you want to print the number also, suppose my name is Amit comma A, so A is variable which we are using, and again run it. So now it is displaying from 0 to 9. It means total 10 times values are printing. And why it is printing 0 and why it is coming till 9, I will tell you little later because of range function. When I am going to explain about the range function, then I will tell you how it is working. So right now you just understand this loop is working how, in what way, right? For example, now if you want to print a number between 20 to 40, then just write 20 comma 40 inside of range function and just leave it as it is and just press F5. You will get 20 to 39, right? One less will be coming because of the range function. It always displays the value less than the number passed as argument. Now this is the use of for loop. For loop is specifically designed for iteration. What is iteration? Iteration means something which you can iterate, which you can go one by one. For example, if I talk about what is iteration, if I am writing here just like num equal to 55, then 55 is not a kind of iterative statement. Why? Because this is just a number, we cannot iterate over it. But if we are writing here num equal to my name is Amit, then this is a kind of iterator. This is a kind of iterative statement. Why? Because we can iterate in this value character by character. We can get m, y, space and a, means if we can get a single letter, a single character from a value, that is known as a kind of iterative statement. So what are the iterative statement? We have string, we have list, we have tuple, we have dictionary. These are the iterative statement, and this all we can use with for loop. And apart from this, we also have we also have range function, which is a kind of iterative statement. Range functions creates a list of numbers passed as an argument from basically by default from 0 to less than the number passed to it as an argument, right? If I am passing it 10, then this range function will generate 0 to 9 numbers in the gap of by default 1 1, okay, and that will be a kind of iterative output. But the thing we have to notice here, this output will not be stored in any variable. For example, if I want to write s equal to range 10, then s is not going to hold list of number. Range function is useful, it saves memory exhausting. It is not going to misuse the memory space. Why? Because it will not create the list unless and until it is not being used with for loop automatically, right? So once again, come back to the example part which we were explaining in the slides. Now you can understand, if I am writing here example number 2 for CH in India, then how it is going to print. Let us see this also. For example, if I am writing here for C in, take a string like Amit only and print C, run it. So what you are getting here, AMIT, right? This is output. So it means for loop does what? It checks the value. This is your initialization, this is your iterator variable, which is going to check with the help of any statement. It will check in the given value whether it is iterator or not. If it is not iterator, it will throw argument. For example, it will throw error, sorry. For example, if I am writing here 55 is a number, it is not iterator. So if I am using it, it will throw error. For C, int object is not iterable, right? It means you understand we cannot iterate because it is a one number 55. We cannot separate it like 5 5. But The same if I'm writing it as a string in double quotes, if I'm writing it 55, it will be as a string. So now it is a kind of iterator, so we can get 5 separately. So now it is fine, it is correct, you can get the output here, right? In the same way, if I'm writing here suppose Delhi and just print F5, you will get it DELHI. This is very useful loop. It means you are getting single character, and now whatever you want to do with the single character you can do. For example, if you want to add something with the character, so if you want to display all the characters into same line, then after C put comma and put and equal sign, give a single space, press again F5. Now you can see Delhi is coming because of in the single line all characters are being printed but one by one. But if you remove from here space, it will display all together without any space. If you want to give any special character like asterisk, press F5 again. So now you can see Delhi means after each character asterisk symbol is being printed. So I hope you understood about the for loop with string. In the same way, if we use any kind of you can say list, so suppose I am storing these values in a list, so now we can run the same program again, you can get output, right? And if we remove this and L, so you know everything will come into single line, right? The same thing happened with the tuple and dictionary also. So kindly understand about the for loop. Once again, use the statement for and then take the variable. Variable can be anything, A, B, C, X, Y, Z, whatever you want to take variable. Then in statement is compulsory. For and in is compulsory. Then here it should be a kind of iterator. Iterator means either it should be a string or list or tuple or dictionary, right? And then put colon sign and then use this variable to get the single value. Now how this loop is working? For example, in this iterative statement, how many values are there? 7 values are there. So first of all, it will go to first value and then it will print it. Then it will go to the next value, then next value, then next value, and then next value, and the last value. After last value, it will terminate automatically. So that is why in for loop there is no need to that is why in the for loop there is no need to specify starting or ending or condition. Automatically starting, ending and condition is specified, and there is no need to also put any update statement in this for loop. The for loop does automatic process, so that is why this loop is preferred, and this loop is useful very much only in Python. So we can see the example number 3. We have the list, we have item into 5 is given. Now each number will be displaying after multiplying with 5, right? And example number 4, we can see for val in range 1 to 10 and print val, it is just displaying the range function. 1 to 9 value will be printed one by one in separate line. Example number 5, for city in Delhi, Kolkata, Noida, and just printing city, so it will display normally Delhi, Kolkata, Noida in separate lines because it is tuple. And again example number 6, we can see for x in range 1 to 10, and again we are just multiplying x with 5. It means range is starting from 1 to 1 into 5 will be 5, then 2 into 5 10, like that. And after printing each output, a line will be also printed because this is also part of loop. So once again, let us see the example. If I am taking the same example, if I am writing here suppose C into 10, right? Now this is displaying 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and if I am writing here after this one more line, any statement which you want to execute like separator or something, and just press backspace, come back to just below for and write print statement, and I am just writing here asterisk symbols only for example. So now you can see all these are the part of for loop, but this statement was not the part of for loop. It means whatever statement you are putting in the indent block of for loop, that will be the block of for loop, and that will be executed with loop. But this statement is out of for loop, so this will not be executed, right? So indentation is very important to understand. Now next we have range function. Let us discuss in little more deep about the range function. So in Python, range function is used to generate a sequence of numbers. It is commonly used with the loops, specifically with for loops, to iterate over a sequence of number. The numbers are generated by range functions are not stored in the memory. This is a notable point. The number which are generated by the range functions are not stored in the memory all at once. Instead, they are generated one at a time as you iterate over them. Means whenever we are going to iterate with the help of for loop using range function, then only it will be providing you a number. Otherwise, range function will not store the output in memory. So that is why range function is making memory. Range function is very efficient for large sequences. If you have very big sequence for example 1 to 1 crore, 1 to 1 million sequence of number, if you want to generate, then it will occupy large storage in memory. But range function will not store all sequences in memory, but only will store when it is being utilized in execution. Now some key points which you have to keep in mind while using the range function. First, the range function does not include stop value in the sequence, right? There is no any stop value in the sequence. The step can be positive for increasing sequence or negative for decreasing. I will tell how this is to be achieved. If you use range start and stop, then default step is 1. It means if we are using just range function and we are writing a number like 10, then it will start from 0 to 9. It means default step is also 1 1 0 1 2 3 4 5, means difference is only 1, but the start will be 0 and the end number will be less than the number passed as argument. But if you are writing this statement range start and stop, if you are giving two statements within range function, then start number will start from the starting number, and the final number, the last number will be less than the stop number, and the default step will be 1, the gap will be 1 1. If you use range stop, it assumes start from 0, means if you are writing range 10. So for example, I am telling you, for example, I am just telling you, for example, my list equal to range. This is syntactically correct, but output you will not get because range is not going to store the list in memory, right? My list. If I am printing this, you will get only the same statement 0 to 10, because by default starting is 0, because we are only giving the stop. We can't give only start, we have to give only stop, right? This you understood? Now we have three variations. First of all, range with single number, single argument. Then second variation we have range with start value and end value. This is your starting point, this is your ending, and the difference between means all the numbers between this and this will be printed with the difference of 1, by default 1. Here also the gap will be 1. Now third is if you want to increase or decrease the gap, then third is give the start value, give the end value, and give the differences. I want to give the difference of 4 between 3 to 40, whatever numbers are being printed. So let us see one by one the example how to print it. Simple use for loop. So for, take a variable num in range. First of all, I am taking 20, single number. So this is stop value, right? Print what? Num, and put to int equal to space, so that all the numbers are printed in the same line, otherwise the screen will go out of screen, right? Output will go out of screen. So let us run it. So now you can see it is displaying 0 to less than the stop value, correct? So this is okay. Now we are going to provide 20 as a starting number and 40 as end number. So it will display 20, 21 to 39. The output will be like this, 20 to 39, correct? Now the gap which is coming right now 1 by 1, 20, 21, 20, 23. But if you want to give the gap of 2, then once again put comma and put differences. This is a difference, okay? This is a starting. First argument is for start, second argument or value for the end value, and this is the difference. Now you can see it's coming 20, 22, 24, 26, 28 till 38, because after 38, after adding 2 it will be 40, but 40 will be the same number, end number, but as per the rule of range it will take less than the end number, so that is why last number is 38. In the same way, if you take a very big number, for example 1 to 1000, and if you are giving the gap of 55, then again 156, 55, 111. In the same way it will display all the numbers, right? So range function is very useful in generating list of numbers by default. Now this is all about positive numbers, but what if you want to create list of negative numbers, means numbers in decreasing order, right? That is also very simple. For example, if you want to display list of number in decreasing order, then we have to provide AND as a starting, and start value is 30, and value should be 5. Now if you just write this statement, this will not print anything. Now guess why it is not displaying anything? Guess why? Because start number is 30 and end number is 5, which is not correct. The start should be less and the end should be higher, then only it will create a number. But we have written here 30 and 5. Now we have to specify if we want to print the number in decreasing order, then we have to give here -1 as a third argument, as we have to provide -1, not 1, -1. Then it will understand if we want to get the list in decreasing order. Now you can get it. The number is starting from 30 and going till 6, less than the last number. The same sequence is again followed, less than the last number. The same thing if you write here -5, right? Again you will get the number, but less than the last number, because last number is 5, so less than 5 should be there 4. So 4 is not been printed. I hope you understood. Now whatever you want to do with these numbers, you can do it. For example, if you want to get sum of all the numbers between 1 to 10, 1 to 15, right? So just write down 1 to 16, because you want to get sum of all the numbers between 1 to 15. Then make it 1 plus 16. Now simply we can just write here num plus we can take a variable sum1 equal to 0, initialize it with 0 because we want to use it. Sum1 equal to sum1 plus num, and then bring this print statement out of loop, because we want to display this statement at the end, not every time. So just print here sum1. I am writing sum1 not sum, because sum is a kind of keyword, that is why. So now sum of all the numbers are coming here, but if you want to display all the numbers along with the sum, then you can do print statement just below this. You can write here like num comma and, right? Then run it. The last number is sum, but if you want to write an equal sign, then you can put equal sign here only. So sum of all the numbers are coming here 120. But if you want to display plus symbol also between all the numbers, then what we can do, we can put here plus, right here only. So now 1 is coming extra, this can be skipped, no problem. So 120 is coming. Got it? I hope all of you got it. Now already we have understood what is the syntax of range function. We have to provide start, stop and steps. Start value of the sequence is all, the starting value of sequence is inclusive, this is optional, and if not provided the default is 0. Stop, the ending value of sequence is the ending value of sequence, this is just ending value of sequence, and this is required, and the difference between each number in the sequence is steps. Examples already told you, so you can see example number 1, example number 2, 3. Now let us see one program. Let us see some programs based on the for loop. So sum of natural numbers. So already this we have explained you. User is going to enter a number, right, and that number we are going to get sum of all the numbers between 1 to the number entered by the user. Now for I in range 1, starting comma n plus 1, n is the number entered by the user, and this total sum we have taken a variable to calculate all the numbers and to store calculated number in variable. And after this we are writing here total equal to total sum plus equal to I, means total sum equal to total sum plus I. So range function will provide single number 1, 2, 3, 4 less than the till n, because n plus 1 is given, and it will display sum of first n. N means the number entered by the user, and natural numbers are this, right? In the same way, factorial of a number, if you want to find out the factorial of a number, then again this you can do with the help of for and range function. All these examples you can do on your computer or laptop and check the output. Multiplication table you can print, and you can find the even numbers in the range, right, and you can check for the prime number, right. The examples are given, you can check it. If you have still doubt in for loop, you can ask me in comment, right. Thank you so much for watching the video. This for loop is completed. Now in the next video we are going to discuss about the while loop. Thank you once again.